Hello, everyone. Welcome in today. We're going to do our post free agency mock draft. So, we're going to start it off with Chicago, and everybody knows they're going to go Caleb Williams at number one overall. It's the best decision. There's a little bit of risk there, but he has the highest upside, so you got to take him at number one. At number two, the Commanders are on the clock, and everybody seems to think Jaden Daniels is going to move up to number two just because of the signing of Marcus Mariota. Well, Marcus Mariota isn't exactly like Jaden Daniels, in my opinion. I think he plays quite different. So I think they're going to go with Drake May. And I think he's the better prospect anyway, so it's the right decision to make. At three, New England's on the board, on the clock here. And, unfortunately, I'm not the biggest Jaden Daniels fan. I don't think he has the best arm. I think he can run, and I think he's a pretty good passer, but I think arm strength's going to be a little bit of a question. However, we're going to give him to him at New England. At number three to New England. They need a quarterback. It's that simple. At four, Arizona's on the clock, and this is where it can get interesting. Do they stick and pick Marvin Harrison, or do they move back? Well, they've shown the interest in moving back before, so I think I would like to see them possibly make a trade here. So we're going to go in, and we're going to not trade with New England. We're going to go to Minnesota. They're going to give up this one. All right, so this is a trade we're going to do. They're going to give up 11 and 23. They're going to have to give up more, but I can't force the trade, so this is what we're going to do to make the trade happen. At number four, it's Minnesota now on the clock, and of course, they have to go QB. They're going to take J.J. McCarthy. And although this is too early for me, I think that Minnesota's kind of painted themselves into the corner, and they got that extra first-round pick. Go get your guy. You're going to pay him a little bit more money. The value may not be there, but you know what? Everybody loves the kid. He seems like a really good kid. He just needs development. So Minnesota, and I think he really fits with that style offense anyway. So at five, the Chargers are on the clock. And honestly, I could see them being interested in moving back. But I think with Marvin Harrison on the board, and I really do think that them getting rid of their top two receivers doesn't signify that it's going to be a Greg Roman run all the time offense. I think it signifies they are comfortable getting either Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. at number five. So they're going to take Marvin Harrison here. At six, the Giants are on the clock, and they would have loved to get a quarterback, but it's too early now to get a quarterback at this spot. So for the Giants, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to go ahead and just take Rome Odunze. I think they need size, and he's the best person to offer that to them. At pick seven, Tennessee's on the clock, and I think Tennessee needs O-line help bad. They're going to take Joe Alt, and that's going to solidify the left side of their O-line between him and Peter Skoronski. At eight, Atlanta's on the clock, and with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, and they actually have a solid receiving options as well. I think they're in a prime position to trade back. So we're going to have Arizona come back up, and the value of the trade doesn't matter. I don't think they're going to give up one of their other first-round picks, so I'm not going to fight making that work. However, Arizona's now back on the clock, and with Arizona on the clock at pick 8, it's going to be Malik Neighbors coming off the board just ahead of Chicago. It makes a ton of sense. I think Chicago would take him if he was there. Even though they don't necessarily need a third receiver that bad, I think it makes a ton of sense. Now, Chicago on the clock here at number 9. For me, I think they're going to go ahead and take their top edge rusher, which is definitely a tough one for me because I like Jared Verse a lot, but I think Dallas Turner's a bendier edge, so he matches better and pairs with Sweat a little bit better. So at number 10, the New York Jets are on the clock, and I think they still need tackle help. I think that there's no way they can go into the season with Morgan Moses at right tackle and then nobody at left. And everybody thinks they're going to get David Bakhtiari. And honestly, if they did, they still need somebody else there. Bakhtiari's not healthy ever. So, in my opinion, we're going to go right to the O-tackle class. And, Troy Fontanu has taken a big climb here, and people are like, oh, there you go. He's perfect for him. He can move around. Well, until they sign a true left tackle, I'm not sure that Fontanu is the pick over Fashanu. He's not a mauler, but I think Fashanu is the better option here. He can protect Aaron Rodgers, and that's what they need. So at pick 11, Atlanta's up on the board here. And I'm going to go right back to the edge class, which is what I would have picked at 8. They get Jared Verse at pick 11. So now at pick 12, Denver's on the clock. And of course, they would love to get a quarterback. But at 12, there's no way you take a quarterback here. So I think they're actually going to trade back. So once again, value doesn't matter. We're only doing first round picks, but it's going to be Cincinnati coming up with Denver. And I think with Cincinnati on the clock here, they're going to go ahead and draft Brock Bowers. I think that it's a perfect opportunity for them to move up the board, get an upgrade to their offense. Tyler Boyd's still a free agent. They may be able to bring him back. But until we know for sure, Brock Bowers is perfect, man. He can come in. Gesicki's on a 1-year deal. I wouldn't worry about it. At pick 13, Las Vegas is on the clock, and they're another team that really probably wants a quarterback, honestly. But in this situation, I think they're comfortable sticking, picking, and going with my top cornerback, and that's Quinyon Mitchell at pick 13. So at pick 14, New Orleans is up on the clock. Now, the Saints need help across the O-line, in my opinion, but I'm not sure that at pick 14 it makes the most sense to draft somebody who could be a backup in year one. So I think for me, and what the Saints really need is wide receiver help. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I see Brian Thomas here, and I'm going to have the Saints take Brian Thomas Jr. and keep him in Louisiana. Like I said, it might not happen, but I think Chris Olave is a wide receiver one. He's dominant. He's fantastic, but they got rid of Michael Thomas. They have a lot of other gadget guys, but I think they need some true help if they want to see Derek Carr succeed at all. So at pick 15, Indy's on the clock. Now, the Colts need a corner, and they like size and length. And I really think they would have loved to take Quinyon Mitchell, but he's off the board. So I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here, and I'm going to give him Cooper DeJean here at pick 15. I'm a big Cooper DeJean fan. I like Terrion Arnold, but I don't think he fits quite what Chris Ballard likes. So that's why I'm not going to put him there. At 16, Seattle's on the clock. Now, Fuanga, honestly, is the easy pick here. Or you can go down and do Fa'atanu. Fuanga is probably not as much of a guard, so Fa'atanu probably would make a little bit more sense. But I think Talise Fuanga could play guard and be the dominant guard, and I have him rated a little bit higher in my personal opinion. So Fuanga is going to be the pick at pick 16, and he'll probably slide into guard for Seattle. At pick 17, Jacksonville's on the board. Now, Jacksonville, I think, could use a little bit of help at corner, and for me, Terrion Arnold, they take him. It makes too much sense. At pick 18, Denver's on the board here. Now, this is where it's going to get a little wild. They stayed in the first round. They already moved back. They picked up extra picks. I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to put my QB5 in the first round, and that's Michael Penix Jr. I think he fits what Sean Payton's always done. I think Bo Nix could make a ton of sense to them, but I don't think that Payton wants to not be able to stretch the field. Otherwise, why not stick with Russ? I think he wants to be able to stretch the field a little bit, and I think Penix can do that. So you know what? We're going to go with Michael Penix, and I'm going to give him my QB5. Actually, he's probably my QB4 over J.J. McCarthy, but I understand with injury and age, McCarthy's ahead of him. At pick 19, the Rams are on the clock, and well, this one just became a lot easier. Byron Murphy, he's going to the Rams. With the retirement of Aaron Donald, crazy, but what are you going to do, man? They need to replace him. Byron Murphy could come in and he can attempt to replace him. There's no guarantee he'll ever be able to. At pick 20, Pittsburgh's on the board. Now, for Pittsburgh, I think they need offensive tackle help, and I think Broderick Jones can move over to left, and I'm going to give them J.C. Latham, who would be a dominant power right tackle for them. At pick 21, Miami's on the board. Miami actually lost quite a bit on defense. And although I'm not the biggest Nate Wiggins fan because I don't like that he doesn't tackle, I don't like how small he is, I'm going to give him to Miami here. He can cover, and I think Miami, with Jalen Ramsey already on the team, maybe Wiggins could learn a little bit from him. And they need a new CB on the outside. They got rid of Howard, so Wiggins makes a lot of sense, and that's where we're going to put him. At pick 22, Philly's on the clock. Well, it'd be easy to say they need a center. Well, they don't necessarily need a center. They need a little bit more of a guard. So, in my opinion, even though I love Jackson Powers-Johnson, I think Troy Fautanu makes a ton of sense for Philly, and they can take him, play him at guard, maybe even slide him to tackle when Lane Johnson retires. At pick 23, Arizona's up on the clock here. Now, Arizona already took Malik Neighbors. They could use help at corner. They could use help at edge, although I don't think they'd do it in the first round. Now, I am going to go ahead and give them Jerzon Newton here at pick 23. They need help on the interior of the D-line. He can fill in and do that without question. Next up's Dallas. Now, Dallas is a team that's actually disappointed a lot of people quite a bit. They haven't made a lot of moves in free agency, and honestly, I don't understand why. They're standing pat. They're letting people leave. I don't think they're as good as they think they are. So for me, I am torn between Tyler Guyton and Amarius Mims. A lot of people love Mims, which is why I want to mock him higher. But I'm going to put Guyton in above Mims just because of that playing time for Mims scares the heck out of me. He was never on the field for Georgia, and he just didn't play much. So I can't trust him, not this early. Now at pick 25, Green Bay is on the board. And the problem here is I think they could use tackle help. And although I don't want to throw Mims to them here, he might be an option. I don't think Tyler Nubin, who's my top safety, is a first round pick. I think he's a second rounder. If you can't get Brian Branch into the first round, no way Tyler Nubin's in the first round. Just a personal opinion, but that's what I think. So for the Packers, this is a tough pick actually. Tackle to me makes a ton of sense. I don't think there's a corner that I would take this high. Kool-Aid supposedly ran pretty well before he has surgery here, so that does help that a little bit. Still just not sure about Kool-Aid in the first round. to the Packers. I don't know. He doesn't feel like a Packers corner. I'm going to not trust my gut here, and I'm going to give him a Marius Mims and give him a high upside left tackle. Next up's Tampa. They need edge. Leatu Latu's here. Run that pick up. Get him a buck. I want him to be a Buccaneer if he's on the board at this point. Now, Arizona's on the clock once again. What are they going to do here? Well, they have 3 first-round picks. So, okay. I think in this situation, they trade back. All right, so I changed my mind. I guess Arizona's not going to do a trade in this situation, even though I wanted to. We're going to go ahead and just give him Kool-Aid McKinstry. I couldn't find a trade that worked. I just can't put Bo Nix in the first round. I think 6 QBs is too many. So I picked 28. Buffalo's on the clock. And I'm going to give him A.D. Mitchell. I think he makes the most sense. I picked 28 for the Bills. He's a great receiver. I picked 29. Detroit's on the board. I don't think they need a CB like people think they do. Now, I will say I think they could use guard help. And I'm going to give them Grant Barton to come in out of Duke. At pick 30, the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock. And they need some help at O-line, in my opinion, but I don't think... You know what? I'm going to give him Jordan Morgan here out of Arizona at pick 30. At pick 31, the Niners are on the board here. And for the Niners, I think they need tackle help. I'm not the biggest fan of their right tackle. At CB, I'm not sure about any of these guys. Interior O-line, though, I'm going to give him Jackson Powers-Johnson. He shouldn't be on the board at this point in time. Next up's the Kansas City Chiefs, and for them, I want to give them a wide receiver, but I'm not sure that McConkey is a first-round pick. I don't think Xavier Worthy's a first-round pick. At offensive tackle, I think that's pretty much picked over for first-round guys. I don't see anybody else here I would take. D-line-wise, I'm going to go a little bit outside of what people might think. And I'm going to give him Braden Fisk. I think he'd be a great fit, and I think that'd be a pretty interesting one. As you can see, we had a couple trades at the beginning of this, and then just scrolling through, let me know what you guys think of this mock draft. I think it's a little bit different. I added trades, did a lot of different things, so I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. I'm LDJ11. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I'm out.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar.